Live from the Game Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Welcome back, everybody. The Premier Circuit Legends of Six Major 4 kicks right back off. My name is Quinn, better known as Colorblind, joined with Connie. And Connie, got another interesting matchup. This time, though, we have a little bit of precedence. It's two very interesting teams that we're about to be watching.
Lots of data has been at least informed through the first match of each pool, and we can happily say that we are going to go to pool 2, Bird Nation versus Team Basai. You can see right there, both of them haven't won their opening series, and Team Basai hasn't even won a map yet. So we're already setting a tempo from our original notes coming into this one that we didn't really know these two teams or what they're going to be. Obviously, two rosters filled it out to come out to Columbus, and they haven't won their opening series, and we wanted to avoid the precedent of, if you're unknown, we can't expect much from you. I think Team Basai and Bird Nation still are in a spot where either team can get a win on the board in their pool, still have a chance actually to make it out of the pool, but ultimately it really comes down to, I suppose, well, how do we assess two teams that haven't won yet, Quinn?
Yeah, I mean, they're two unknown teams, and whoa, they're trying to make a name for themselves. So let's get it going. It's Team Basai taking on Bird Nation. Both of them are 0-1. Bird Nation, though, if you looked at the pool play, did take a map. Basai did not. And it's very interesting to look at the pool play as well, because, like, you just see nonstop sweep after sweep after sweep after sweep. So we're starting to get an idea of where teams are starting to place themselves. But now we start to get into the nitty-gritty as we head into all of these teams' second opportunities to take the field or take the controller, I guess you could say. Let's get into the maps, though. Is 6-star, Hardpoint, High Rise, S&D, Invasion Control, of course, in pool play. We're still on that best of 3 format, but we will have best of 5s later on in the week.
6-star, again, opening up with the same hardpoint we saw in the first match of the day. With High Rise, though, again, I think it's more interesting to pull it out in S&D, especially now that we see teams warmed up and they're on comfier maps. I think, though, with this break-off in this hardpoint, that's where you start to see Team Basai at least now come in with a more spread tactic, whereas Bird Nation, everyone's going straight to the hill, all the nades are going straight to the 2 choke points that Team Basai can cross, and it's an even trade across the board.
Two very different approaches, but both of these teams coming out with some gusto. We're not going to stall. We're going to jump on MP1 already online, and so far, so good for the side of Bird Nation, who are looking to hold this thing down, but Basai still applying the pressure on in, still getting their name into the hill. Bird Nation, though, quick to make the rotation over towards P2. That's a wise play heading down the stretch.
I mean, listen, 11 seconds is a lot of time on P1 when you know this hill is usually a stepping stone for setting up a strong 60 on P2. But I really think that we usually see Bird Nation in spots of at least comfort, knowing that they can get the kills. One that's 1v1 as well between Gunny and Drippy will at least allow the next hill to flow over to maybe Bird Nation. It's actually more or less Gunny, the last really up in the back line for Team Basai.
Waiting for those reinforcements to come on in before he's going to hit the ignition head on in, takes down X, but his teammates are going to fall all around him, and he eventually will meet a similar fate. Bird Nation is in, but so is Jason. 2 kills on the board, looking to turn for the third, but Kilobyte, he is inevitable on that 6 spree, has that cruise missile early on. 25 points on the board for Bird Nation, continuing to matriculate.
Yeah, that's great trophies as well from Bird Nation. You see how it just distracts Team Basai's gunfights, even despite getting 2 for the break. They still have got to deal with all of the nades being at least activated to retain pressure. The cruise missiles, what you mentioned, equally just going to add more punishment down the line. But I think the break, and especially scrap time now, is what Team Basai want, and it's going to be a good inkling now to even see the lead change hands for the first time.
Yeah, they're going to get that scrap. It's going to be eventually cut down off the point, so nobody's going to get the scrap, but Basai is going to have the opportunity to make the rotation on in. Unfortunately, though, these respawns not going to be very favorable. Bird Nation is going to find themselves on this hill, and how the turns have tabled already so early on in. Obviously, the hill just barely popping online, but they're still going to get the kills to fortify. Basai now has to make the break.
I mean, listen, important kill was found in the back there, and now you're seeing X just put right there to block. And it funnels everyone from Team Basai through into a very tight choke point. 2 ARs, and it's an easy firing squad to hold this first 20 seconds. But Bird Nation have got to refocus their attention, make sure again that pool is collected too.
That's such an expert cutoff from Bird Nation. I mean, they have the 2 players downside, 2 players in the hill. It just completely puts Basai in the blender. But now with a straightforward attack straight from the water side of the map, it's going to be their next approach on into this hill. But the time continuing to go blue for the side of Bird Nation. The kills also continuing to justify their positioning. And now for Basai, it's just about hitting that roto. But Bird Nation is already ready for P4.
2 players stacked right on the next hill, and you got X watching over the mid cross. So now you can really line up a few kills, make it rain blue, and Bird Nation can start stacking points. Not just a huge 70-point cushion here, but Q-Pan left all alone.
Basai has to find a way out of this blender. They have to get a couple of key kills. Q-Pan will be able to find the first, but it's not going to be a whole lot else. Bird Nation now know that they're going to be playing in from this left side of the map. They're going to try and make the rotation on in, continue to fortify for P4, continuing to just get the kills. And again, Basai just seemingly cannot find their way out of this blender.
I'm seeing as well, Team Basai are actually taking gunfights and knifing straight afterwards. Maybe this could actually be a sort of stepping stone to realizing what's going on. Maybe new controls and new methods the weeks before are practiced in a way to try and get an edge over their opponent, but the button mapping and their muscle memory is not truly there yet. And you can see it now in the first hill. You never want to change your settings too early on, but Basai getting punished for it in quite the most convincing way.
Now we turn our attention, and this P4 to P1 rotation, it's so key. If you can get things going, if you are Bird Nation, things start to get even more further out of the mirror than it is already for the side of Team Basai. And you know when you look in that mirror, things are a lot further than they appear. Gonna be able to get a couple of kills, though, over towards P1, and hold on, wait a minute, this might be the opening that they need.
I mean, it's great kills, but look at the spawns. No one's reading it just yet. So, Bird Nation on the left-hand side, X's cruise missile can be dunked straight on here. It's an open hill, and it just punishes. It's all white, and they can touch time here with plenty of pressure from the south side.
Looking to continue to fortify on in, continuing to fight on in, flying into the hill, but hold on, Gunny with two. Backside approach is not anticipated out the side of Basai. Bird Nation still strong into the hill. X will cut one down, and that's going to be time on the hill now for Bird Nation with 25 seconds left on the board.
Impressive. Look at this all blue hill. There's so many players stacked in there. They're bunkering up, watching out for any trades. Yes, you might lose a few here, but I don't expect Gunny to get free. That could be scrap time, all theirs. And is it still enough to maybe even close the gap? Not truly, but it's a great blend nonetheless, and it might reinvigorate some confidence, which they so desperately need.
But with so much time to make up here, they have to hit this rotation. And it's Bird Nation who's going to be ahead of the play here. A couple of kills going in the feed as well, and that's just going to continue to justify this early rotation. Basai is so slow to make it, and once again, they're going to have to fight their way on in.
And X as well, on for a second cruise missile. Gunny as well can join, but no, Bird Nation cancelled out straight away. Now at this point, Gunny has to play the call and at least make the shot worth it, because they have got players around the hill. Need to read the flood of where can Bird Nation push through, because they need to get at least counters available to at least turn momentum truly on its head.
This feels like it really has to be a full 60 here. Juicy is already into the hill, and Bird Nation is going to fly on in. X will find another to continue to justify. Q-Pan now trying to attack from the main, but K-Bite is going to shut him down, and Basai is going to fall off the hill once again. It felt like, again, you needed that full 60 to even make yourself into the mix of this, but no, Basai is going to hit the rotation over towards P3, and once again, it just feels like this is imperative.
Yeah, Gunny's 2 kills, holding the spawns, gets 7. Cruise missile now for Team Basai. They have already touched time initially. 10 seconds will go their way. Nobody from Bird Nation's near the hill. They want to try and fight for spawn control, but is it a wasted missile? Maybe not. K-Bite with 2 big kills. Who's blocking? That's Gunny right there in the back. They'll still spawn there.
Esco's going to try and find one, but he's not going to be able to find much more than that. Bird Nation is back on for the time, and K-Bite just continues to justify with the frags to go. This man cannot be stopped. 21 and 12 on a 3 spree, looking to collect his second additional cruise missile. Now Basai trying to make the hit straight on in. It's Gunny once again putting the team in the backpack, but it's going to have to be a lot more than that. It's going to have to come a lot sooner, it feels like, with just 20 seconds left on the board.
And Team Basai are still scared to take gunfights. Look at the long route here we're seeing Daddy Esco take. This is actually behavior we tend to see earlier on in the map, but they are actually so pressured out from Bird Nation's gunpowder that they actually don't feel confident taking quick routes to get to hills faster. And X with an extra couple will only add to the pressure that they're feeling right now. 100-point gap and nearly 1 hill away from winning the whole damn game.
Completely blowing up that play. Team Basai once again tasked with the break on in. They've gotten a couple of breaks in these last couple of hills, but it has to come a lot quicker. They're usually breaking in with just 20 seconds left on the hill, and you cannot do that. Bird Nation already in for the 200 points. Gunny with the first kill, though, to open things up. Coming in from mid as well is going to be Jason, but they're going to be reduced to just 2 players in on this hill and looking to hold things down. It's going to be very tough with Bird Nation breathing down their neck.
Nice to see K-Bite now taking a low route, can actually opt for the kill, but Jason's positioning here in this last moment's perfect. Look, you can see 2 players lined up ready for a trade, and that right there is Team Basai actually getting 20 seconds available to them. Pinstripes don't matter, especially when the important kills now are being found by Team Basai with a small margin for error.
And now Basai, they have to make this parlay. It feels like this P1 is so very important for them. Bird Nation, they can realistically still win it here if they can fortify onto P1. Basai's going to try and chow it in, but it's not going to work. Bird Nation with 2 kills on the board, an additional third coming through from Juicy. K-Bite is extending into P4 as well to try and completely lock them in. The blender once again does exactly that. Basai now trying to make the break on in.
Very slow push here from Basai. Bird Nation, this hill, they can win it. And they're actually funneling through from the west side of the map because the east is all Bird Nation. And that right there is a good kill to find onto K-Bite. Re-staggers, stalls their push. And Juicy now can't even make a move, but with a full utility belt can slow down all these Team Basai players.
Yeah, and for Bird Nation, I mean, you have so much room for error here, and it feels like they're not even really igniting their way into P1 all too hard. They're trying to play for those P2 spawns, and Juicy might have just secured them for his team. Realistically speaking, cannot win on P1. There's no reason whatsoever to try and occupy it, so Bird Nation is just going to fly on into P2.
I mean, Daddy Esco right now is playing a nuisance. Because look at time right here. Drippy isn't even moving towards Scrap, and the kill there isn't even in vain because look at where the spawns are going to be. They're going to be Bird Nations. There's all these blue players on the west side of the map, and if you look right there at where Gunny is, right outside the hill, has to wait for support from Jason and Daddy Esco, so far away and not enough time to do so.
They have to get these kills here. Now, Gunny turns online when he is needed most. Spawns flipped for Bird Nation. They're not going to be spawning over towards P2. Basai is going to have the opportunity once again to lock this thing down and hold on. Wait a minute. We might have a game here. Bird Nation trying to find their way on into the hill, trying to take the straightforward approach. Gunny goes down. K-Bite with a key kill there. He's going to open things up. Jason, now the lone player in the hill, is going to be shut down. Daddy Esco will find 2, but it's not going to be enough. Bird Nation are in, but they can't win.
Oh, I know. Look at the spawns are as well. Basai have got an opportunity here to actually hold them in the trap. Although it has to be perfect for the next 2 hills, we have to see at least Team Basai accelerate because Bird Nation have not stopped putting on pressure. It's relentless. A wonderful display of Call of Duty.
Bird Nation's only going to need single-digit points on the board to win this here, and now Basai has to be picture perfect from this point forward. But it feels like all that life is getting choked out. Gunny's still, though, holding on hope for his team. Bird Nation now with the task, breaking on in.
Important kills, especially here in spawn. First gunfight, and Gunny getting dropped is a very big alarm for Bird Nation to break on. But the respawners are there, so the timing can be played. If they go trade for trade, as long as Gunny's alive, the spawns are very hard to flip, and now they're fighting from Paul's side.
This is so good outside of Basai. They can still hold on to hope, but now you have X from the backside. Do they read into this approach here? And now Basai is not going to be able to get it. X is in for the time. Does he have the teammates to help fortify? No, he does not. The spread from Bird Nation is not going to justify. Only 5 points needed, but still Basai holding on hope.
Basai can hold it, but they need to get rotation already. And look at the float. We're seeing Bird Nation now send 2 players. A 1v1 for Gunny to actually be the first player up onto this point. 6 seconds left. No time to drop down low and pinch around the back.
Basai's gonna have one last approach, one last attempt to get on into this hill. Time coming on for Bird Nation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like they are going to get it to go. And Bird Nation is gonna fly to a 1-0 lead in the series.
I mean, listen, from their deficit at the start, it was a fantastic comeback, and we did see Bird Nation slow down in many portions. But Team Basai were in a losing battle from the start, and they had a very weak first set of rotations. Although it's a great camaraderie to see them do well in the second, and I mean, the listen, Bird Nation have got all these clutches available with the time they have, and X's 2-piece as well was sort of a stepping stone for the pressure they faced on that last hill to easily chain the next rotation. 5 seconds left to win it, and they've got 20 seconds left. They can get with scrap time and just send everyone to new, and that's why it was such an easy close for what felt like at least a very competitive fixture in the second set of rotations.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it, the resilience out of Basai to stay in the mix of that, to find their way back into the mix of it and claw their way. Because again, I mean, Bird Nation, they had a 100-point lead at one point. So to cut that down to nearly 30, Basai has shown that resilience, but it came a little too late. It feels like they were just too slow to get their footing. Bird Nation just had a little bit more to go. It's going to bring them that map win. Now high-rise S&D, but it feels like Basai might have woken up.
I think Basai have actually got a spot now where they have to assess what happened in the last map, and they already know they're going to talk about the first set of P1s, and they just couldn't get anything going, but obviously there were holes in the game to be exploited for Bird Nation. And now we actually see High Rise looking a little bit more of an enticing duel, like you said, because we're slowing things down for Search and Destroy, but at the same time, we don't have any real information in terms of expected first bloods, expected win percent, round win percent, utility usage. We see both teams for the first time on a search on camera, and we're going to actually assess them live and see what goes right or wrong in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, again, it's two very unknown teams, two teams starting off 0-1, but both of them have the opportunity here to make their statement known, make it known that, hey, we might have started off on the wrong foot here today on land, but we are going to keep things going. Bird Nation off to that early start, but Basai, again, it feels like they've woken up a little bit, and of course, they have to bring it to the invasion control, but they're awake. They're not asleep anymore, the controller. They are definitely awake, and high-rise S&D might be their opportunity.
We have to identify some patterns and trends straight away on this opening break-off. And Bird Nation defending, Team Basai, bomb in hand. And it's already spotted again that we only see some, at least spam shots through Juicy, identify who's crossing straight away, already reading the pressure early on.
Basai trying to take the bomb over towards B. Q-Pan's going to be the first line of offense on in. Bird Nation has this corner assault with two players. Do they anticipate it? K-Byte can just completely shut down this bomb play, but no. Bomb is going to go down on B. K-Byte's going to read it through, but nobody is home. It's a 4v4, and it's about to get mixy.
Great movement as well to see Team Basai actually evade after the bomb. All four players are up, and it's a late push, but X actually has found a way to eliminate that first blood, and it's only really traded out because no one dealt with Gunny quickly enough. That 1v3 is incredibly faltered. Team Basai unfortunately couldn't escape what was one of the hardest exits.
Yeah, such a good play out of Bird Nation there. I mean, they were taking the 2v1s as well. That early 2v1 that X and Kilobyte took were so good to set the momentum of those kills. Basai was very, very quick, though, to get on into the hill.
They had at least enough time there to read the situation, but they also failed to understand what adaptation should be made. When in a map like this is so close quarters and you have such little room to run, there's so many ways you can escape. So I really have to now assess on the flip, what can Basai do on their defending portion? Bird Nation, again, actually at least diffused what was a well-executed attack, and now they have to themselves understand what can we do after such a great opening transition. But again, the gunfights have to be played, at least according to what we can see.
All in the court for Bird Nation. Juicy's just completely firing, connecting on all the shots. Kilobyte, 2 kills on the board, and you blink. Once again, Fiesco, 1v3, Juicy with the third. Man is feeling himself. Bird Nation is going to completely shut it down on kills. Picking up right where they left off on 6-star.
They've got wonderful tenacity to even at least take gunfights, especially after giving up so much space. And as well, in the first 30 seconds, I think Basai have got better reads and better strategy, but they are so unconfident when it matters most, and that's what Bird Nation. In those gunfights, you see it right there. They're reaching now a climax of their true mentality of like, we cannot be stopped, and maybe it can be carried on further. We go on now an attacking portion to Basai. Well, the set name off the rip though will stall the push originally, and Juicy only spots one on the cross.
It's like Basai is just, again, tactical, but they're going to have to bait out a mistake from Bird Nation and be able to capitalize on it, because the confidence, as you mentioned, is just not there. It's going to be continued to just reduce to ashes. Drippy with a kill onto Daddy Esco. Basai still trying to make the approach from B Hall, but it's just not feeling like they have any operational room to work with. X from behind as well. It's going to completely flush that player into the elevator and eventually take him down. A flawless round from Bird Nation, and they, again, just the steamroller that is being seen on the main stage here. Very, very hard to mentally get yourself out from under.
There's no real escape for it. I actually am a bit flabbergasted myself as a commentator. Well, when we look at what the schematics should be for Team Basai to actually win rounds, they just failed to win crucial 1v1s. So at this point now, you look towards the scoreboard. X is on for a cruise missile. Bird Nation have played pretty much around K-Byte, Juicy, and X themselves. The players killing most, all Drippy has done, is actually played very late to get any players flanking. So it works well. The set names though towards A, give information towards Basai.
I mean, tactically speaking, again, as you mentioned it, Bird Nation isn't as sound as Basai, but it doesn't really matter when you're winning your ones. They're kind of playing the team deathmatch strategy, but now it's going to bite them in the backside a little bit. Q-Pan and Esco are going to find one, finds the second, and that will just leave Drippy. Now for Bird Nation, the Gunny, it can only carry you so far. You're going to have to find out how they're going to navigate past this point.
I think Q-Pan hasn't even spotted bomb below. That really is something you got to address now. Your team beside, because Jason can just play. Oh, I was gonna say play carefully, but I mean, listen, the spot was obvious, right in helicopter, and it was just pathing that was going to be checked. Fair enough, team beside. Congratulations, good round win. Finally, the strategy that we've been seeing for the last 4 rounds is truly flourishing.
There you go. It's a little bit of confidence in the back pocket now if you are Basai, and wonder how far that will carry them. Because again, tactically speaking, I mean, on paper, all works. It all makes sense. When Bird Nation just runs it straight down your throat, expect them. It's very hard to navigate out of. Now,
and I think it's only fair now we see at least a listening from Bird Nation. Yeah, Quinn, I spotted a flash there. Same team listening, Bird Nation.
What's their pit? What's their pit?
Heavy right.
I have blue. Jake has blue.
Q-Pan's gonna be our side. He's probably pushing B Street.
Yo, in elevator, Jeff, in elevator behind you.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Salute.
Be sure, propane, outer propane.
Outer propane, Jason, we're missing Q-Pan.
In our spawn. I'm one shot.
You're gonna get child propane. He needs help.
I know. Was on B bomb, I think?
Yeah, he was B bomb.
Someone's pointing at me. Oh, look, they're both on me.
I was gonna say, he's gonna flank you.
One shot. I got him both. One shot.
Play stairs and...
Yeah, this. He was pushing our spawn. Other one. Probably our mid one.
Planning.
Other one's deep. Other shot. Oh, dude, we both should have fucking won that. I don't.
Jeff.
Well, I must say, a delayed reaction for us on the comms, but I've got to understand that's a very tough moment for Bird Nation. And I have to say, in return for Basai, equally as so, there was lots of brown in the pants, Quinn.
Yeah, no, I mean, both of these teams kind of jostling back and forth in terms of the round control. Ultimately does go the way of Basai, but still some really solid comms out the side of Bird Nation. You can see why they are such a collective unit, calling out where these players are, and all things considered, keeping good surveillance, but it's not going to be enough for the round there. And Basai find themselves back in the mix of this, Connie.
They've actually done very well to at least get numbers back in favor. They always enter the first 3 rounds in a 1vx situation, but I do like the way in which now we see Bird Nation try to use utility early on. An important blood taking care of a position on Crane, and K-Bites all the way through. So they got to time this perfectly. The shots, though, have to be at least dodged and then returned through the back. So now this right here is Basai, at least now, not reading the pathing of which Bird Nation looks to execute.
Yeah, I mean, K-Bite escaping in the backlines there. That's a very obvious miscue because they did get some shots off onto him. The comms don't come in quick enough to make the turnaround happen. Bird Nation back in the mix once again after a 2-round slide. They're going to find their footing, or I guess their wings. 4-2.
I know, and it's a very, very... Oh, what's the word? What's the word we say in Call of Duty when it's 4-2? Oh, it could be 4-3 and it gets really close, right? No. I'd assess it like... I have to assess it in a sense of like, I think that we see Bird Nation continuously putting pressure on Basai, and all of Basai put great thinking. It just might be too much for a mental battle that you cannot eclipse in at least 6 rounds of search and destroy. So now at least the set days go through towards B to get information tagged up on Bird Nation. One player though, that's going to be Drippy, watching over the path of the bomb.
So aggressive out of K-Bite. Bird Nation trying to put the dagger in here, and now in 5-2. Be a way to do it, but Jason with the potential wraparound here could get active from that backside, is going to potentially find the chow from Juicy. He's completely worked his way into the spawn. Hold on, wait a minute. Are they going to read this?
I think it's really good, Quinn.
Where's Jason going to completely flip things on his head? Juicy's going to fall. And how the turns have tabled. That is the opportunity Basai needed.
40 seconds left though, and it's a complete change of pace, and Basai were looking to do this at least in round 1 and 2. Now Bird Nation, as time's worn on and we get into the later rounds, so hard to adapt and read it from the spawn like you'd see originally. So X, at least now, has to play around, not just information, but positions. Easy to get picked off from here, and equally as so, easy for Basai to close it out. And now we do see 4-3, and Basai warming up now, taking the driving seat.
Feels very similar to what we saw in the hard point where Basai, again, the slow start, they started finding their footing. The question is, they once again find their footing a little too late? Personally, 4-3, I mean, very, very manageable. Obviously haven't had a lead quite yet. Bird Nation, now on the attacker side once again. What can they do? The ball in their court. Or, well, bomb in their court.
Ah, great wordplay. I think we have to look at Bird Nation, particularly on the attacking side, because it's a much more of a faster approach from the side to sprint out of windows in that fashion. Immediately 2 on A, 2 on B. 1 sent low on B to watch the flank. Although, Drippy's very, very much playing around helicopter and mid, so that right there is your path for the call, allowing Bomb from X to aggress onto his site.
Bird Nation gonna make their way on in. Jason feels like he could once again just turn things on its head. Drippy's gonna fall. Once again, just feels like deja vu. Jason with the opener. Will it be enough for Team Basai to completely choke them out? Come to a little bit of a crawl here. Bird Nation trying to figure out the next foot.
I like the way K-Byte's pushing, because it's very innovative. Though Johnny hasn't spotted just yet because of the walls. The shots, though, mean alarm bells and need to find a kill, but this time that Bird Nation is buying is allowing the players now to commit towards B, because Basai are doing the exact same play, and they've completely separated themselves away from the site. Although the kills have been found at a crucial time, just after the bomb's gone down, and it relies so much on X in a 1v3 where every player's coming from every single choke.
That was so good out of Basai, especially Gutty in the back lines. The complete wraparound to kind of catch K-Byte's wraparound off is so good. It's going to bring us to an even score line. 8 rounds in, currently tied 4-4. This next round could be that deciding factor here, Connie. In terms of momentum, Basai, though, completely stealing it out from under Bird Nation.
And they're constantly adapting Basai. They're not really playing from a set strategy off the rip, they're just adapting to what the set needs to tell them. If they get more from the other side of the map, then they're going to overload later on and just play their lives. But Bird Nation are just looking for gunfights way too early on, which is a costly error, especially after round number 8 in S&D, where the latter portion of this game mode punishes the reads because they're so much easier to find.
Stuns out, guns out. Team Basai so aggressive over towards this B side, and that kill on K-Byte might be the justification needed. Still bomb over towards A, and hold on, wait a minute, this is a little bit of a disconnected approach from the side of Basai. Q-Pen is going to make the wraparound though, but does he have the opportunity to make it through? X is not going to check the corner, and this is just completely falling apart of the seams. Basai have the opportunity to really close this thing out, but Drippy chasing it down.
Nice. 2v2. Spotting the bomb is key here for Drippy's call. It's right now they're calling out player names, seeing who's left alive. But in this spot again, Juicy losing his life only really adds pressure as to where this might need to go. But Bird Nation have at least got an idea in mind. Maybe if we do see the audio cues and we do allow Drippy to actually time this could be a perfect re-clear. But I think there's just too much going on the screen.
Ooh.
A free kill found there. He knows one's down below Quinn.
He has the opportunity to make this chow. It's just a matter of the timing here. Daddy Esco playing far from the bomb can just play the check game. 3 seconds left on the board. Drippy has the information that he needs. Daddy Esco is going to change the positioning up ever so slightly. It's going to make things very, very interesting because now he has the wraparound. He has his back turned to him. Drippy sending the shots on in. It's going to connect for some hit markers, but that's not enough. And now for Daddy Esco, you can just play the ring around the rosy game. You got the bomb check to go as well. 10 seconds left on the board. Time ticking away, and Drippy just has to get on. Is not going to be able to in time. It's a masterful play out the side of Daddy Esco to bring Basai the round. Put them on map point.
Oh, 5-4, and it's a terrible consolation for them. Because I really think in this moment, again, it's just player against player, and how well do you know your mechanics? And how well do you know the game knowledge as well? 10 months in, it's so easy to win 1v1. It feels like when you plant the bomb, because you just know what the route has to be, and how to play around your strengths. But Basai, looking at least to survive in this series, take it all the way to a final map, whereas Bird Nation, I'd say now, especially after the first 4 rounds being so strong, really have lacklustered, and it just shows in their strategy.
It feels like Bird Nation is almost asleep at the controller now. They have to wake up, and it feels like it's been a complete role reversal. This is going to get active with the bomb over towards that B side. It's going to try and create a little bit of room to operate with, but he's in the open and completely just no cover to work with whatsoever. Luckily, QPen's not going to chow that out. 4-4 still.
K-Byte's playing Pixel Peaks here as well. Holding this too long, again, you're risking too much reposition. Lots of blue now sliding over to the north side of the map, and now we do see at least QPan has to run away to retain. 3v4, that first blood being drawn by Bird Nation opens up so much. 45 seconds left, needs to deal with an AR. QPan's only got a nade left in the belt.
How is QPan still alive? What is happening? Finally gets taken down, and that is just everything falling apart at the seams. Gunny still alive, but no longer. 5-5. Here we go. Either Bird Nation is going to take the series 2-0, or Basai keep the hopes alive in round 11.
Especially with 2 teams currently 0-1 in pools, this will be a massive surge in confidence, and more than likely the loser of this match not even making it into playoffs. That's what at least the importance of this match is, ladies and gentlemen. Important to mention as well, Drippy's 1 away from a cruise missile, albeit the first blood gets called in, calling the cruise straight away. That's the only strategy they can make if things were to go their way. But Team Basai again are attacking this round, and we saw from round 1 just how good they are with their executes onto bomb. The set nades will go through, and what information can be given? Absolutely none so far.
Looking for that first kill, going to take a very casual angle over towards A, but the approach is going to be over towards B for the side of Basai. And that peekaboo, very familiar to what we saw in round 1 from the positioning out of Bird Nation. They were able to get those 2v1s. The question is, does Basai read it a little bit differently this time? Bomb is going to go down. The 4v4 are going to clear them out of the site. Now Bird Nation flying on in. No information be gained.
And 4v4 as well. Team Basai have to at least understand that they're playing the clock. And Bird Nation have to find the kills. It's super easy to close it. That's impressive. Not just all players wiped out, but Bird Nation with no response. They allowed the clock to run, and they got punished for it. Basai, a flawless round 11. An easy search and destroy win when fundamentals came down to it. And now we have to look towards control. From a team that bounced back from a very, very disappointing hardpoint, this is a wonderful and beautiful way to play the search and destroy.
Oh, absolutely. And the bounce back, the way that they replayed that round, because again, Bird Nation, if you look at round 1, very similar positioning on the defense. You had those 2 players stacked outside of B over towards the little cover that you have there. And they played it the same exact way Bird Nation did. But Basai, they're playing very far away from the site. They're allowing Bird Nation to try and occupy on in. And they're just playing the Anaconda strategy there, just choking them out, bringing it home. High-rise S and D. It's going to go to around 11, but Basai will take that if it means a win. We go to invasion control to be the ultimate deciding factor between these 2 teams. And, I mean, throughout the entire series, Connie, it feels like Basai is finally awake.
They are indeed. Going back to a respawn, though, which obviously gives them just the obvious caveat of knowing that Bird Nation was so strong in the hardpoint. But they came back later on. So I think now both teams have warmed up truly. Bird Nation have to assess their strategy a little bit better. Can't rely purely on gun skill and map knowledge. Just have to simply look towards the fundamentals and making sure that nothing is a step late, because Team Basai clearly have been so well versed in their practice leading up to this tournament around how well do we operate when teams are a little bit more powerful than us. Oh, I know how. We over-rotate and we counter them where the important gunfights matter.
Yeah, I mean, the adjustments being made there from Basai, I mean, you outlined it. It's really, really great to see. It's something that you definitely want to see out of them, and it's coming exactly when they need it. Obviously, not the start that they wanted within the series, but all things considered, currently 1-1. Series is very, very much open. We're going to go ahead and kick it to a very, very quick break. But again, do not go anywhere. This series has hit the fork in the road. You're not going to want to miss how it ends. Premier Circuit, Legends of Six, Major 4. We'll be right back. We have hit the fork in the road within our series between Team Basai and Bird Nation. Currently tied 1-1. Basai turned it online when it mattered most on high-rise S&D to keep things alive. Now we go to invasion control, Connie, and we talk a little bit about the respawn game from Bird Nation. But we also talk about the momentum that Basai has just built. How are we feeling in the grand scheme of everything?
Obvious to mention, Bird Nation's 100-point gap in the first 6 hills on that hard point, knowing that they come out the gates very hot. Although Basai, in at least the later portions, are very good at establishing themselves and complementing that of a infatuous round 11 win on Search and Destroy, when their strategy was simply just levels ahead of Bird Nation. Invasion compares and at least combines the best of both worlds from both of those game modes.
Well, let's get it going. Team Basai kicking things off on the attacker side and kicking things off with a lot of aggression over towards that A side of the map, and 3 kills entering the feed to kick things off. And hold on, wait a minute, they are off and running.
I mean, listen, Drippy's still alive, and wonderful movement to get the important kill, at least on the flanking player, because if Keepan was to live, he could then pinch the respawners through Garage, but that's a gorgeous, juicy nade.
Oh, but Bird Nation has completely given up all of their approach over towards that A side and now be completely wide open. They've got to hit the rotation, and Team Basai just kind of jostling back and forth, going to get on this B hill now, start to make that first tick of progress. For a lot more here, Bird Nation trying to find their way in, but these nades and stuns are just completely breaking them down every step of the way. And it looks like this B hill might be gone, Connie.
This is the ideal starting point for Team Basai, getting 2 ticks on A and going for an easy close onto this B. Not only buys time as well, but seeing Qpan this far out, I mean, a trophy here would be ideal because you want to hold off Bird Nation for as long as possible because the spawners are always going to be ever so close to the opposing point. They also as well found kills on B, meaning now that momentum has truly stopped and they got to re-compass themselves here back onto a point.
That nade from Bird Nation is going to give at least a little bit of an opportunity for them to maybe take a little bit of a break here, maybe get their footing finally under them, but Basai is just going to continue to apply the pressure over towards the B side. All you have is Drippy, and Drippy is going to drop now into the B hill with 27 seconds. It's going to pause, and it looks like the positioning, unless K-Mike can make anything happen, is going to go the way of Basai. That B point's going to be gone. Now A.
60 seconds added to the clock. Lives are equal. At least 6, or at least I should say 4 waves left for Basai to make their way over to A. Nice positioning to see Juicy pressed back into Palace to at least lock in some form of a spawn trap.
Now Basai have the opportunity. 17-17. Drippy is going to be getting very active though, trying to shut this thing down before it gets out of hand. A minute left on the clock, and they're taking their sweet time, looking for every angle that they can possibly play. Make sure that Bird Nation has no stock over towards this A side before they collapse on into the hill. Daddy Esco is going to shut down that long range from Juicy. It's going to give them, again, that opportunity to funnel on in.
Loving the action ideas from Basai here, and Daddy Esco is just playing around waiting for a kill on the extremity, knowing the Bird Nation now have to at least move directly onto A. They know now that with lives left and the respawn is available, Jason's in a prime spot to catch kills, pushing onto the hill, making it such a difficult challenge to even break the setup, because that right there is Team Basai winning an attack, 1-0 up, and in a way in which we wouldn't see most possible, 14-10 life count.
I mean, the way that they came out absolutely firing, getting those first 2 ticks on their first 2 hits. If you are Bird Nation, there's just nothing that you can do when you're completely scrambled like an egg. It's nothing that you can do but lose.
And the way now they have to at least assess themselves here on this re-break, I'd say, listen, Team Basai, you can maybe copy and paste a strategy onto B, which we saw from at least what Basai did, but Bird Nation now again are going towards A directly. Nade's going up high.
Here we go, stuns out, guns out, trying to shut down this attack right away, or trying to fortify in, I should say. Bird Nation first kill on the board, but it's not going to be in similar fashion that we saw with Basai, where they just completely sweep things out. Instead, Basai is just going to continue to apply the pressure, continuing to shut down Bird Nation. And now that A approach is gone, what do they have in their back pockets?
Oh, important kills in mid to find, and the winning team is Bird Nation. They now can aggress towards A. Last player up is Qpan, and the sprint race is won by Bird Nation. So therefore, Team Basai have to hold their lives here so that they can recapture the point. All in the while this is happening, so many players in purple from the south side of the map now force Bird Nation up north for a free point onto B.
Nation migrating up north. It might be the best decision to make in this spot, as they're going to get that first tick of progress. Second one is assured. Team Basai now trying to make the hit on in to prevent that third, though. And hold on, Daddy Esco with the first kill on the board is going to take away Bird Nation's personnel. is just going to be the last player into the hill. He's going to find one, but it's not going to be enough, though his teammates will be bought enough time to make that rotation on in. Team Basai, not a whole lot that they can do in this spot, but watch that B tick away.
Not only that as well, the rotations after capturing these points is flawless. They're moving quick with menace and with actual intention into close quarter combat situations. Basai can't shoot them through the walls. They have to at least push their way in, out of position, where we can see Bird Nation slip the net. But the life differential starting to escalate a little bit here. 22 and 16. It's not the ideal circumstance that you want to have Bird Nation in the spot now where they need to capture A, and there's nothing on the board.
Yeah, that life differential just gives Basai so much opportunity to really just fly around and be a little bit more aggressive on this defensive round than you would maybe anticipate if things were a little bit closer. And it's working every step of the way, but hold on, wait a minute. Drippy, 2 kills on the board, is going to have that back approach from X as well. Basai spawning in no man's land. They're going to have to hit the left foot, right foot express, get on in, because time is starting to be made over towards A.
And absolutely, why not let's just listen in. Let's listen in and hear what they're all saying.
Wait, chill, Josh. Just don't even shout. He has to push you. He's not gonna push you alone.
He's not ace any. He could be push up our rugs or some shit. I'm gonna do video. Deep fire truck, deep fire truck. It's like on me. He's weak fire truck. He's weak fire truck.
Go DVD and P1. Nice. Last guy DVD axe. Nice.
One more front, I think. I'm trying to hold your front cross right now.
Bullshit. Almost getting turned on every life, bro. Nervous as fuck.
I think one's still the fire truck. No. I think one's still like their fire. No, close, Josh. Close,
fire car weak. Fire car weak. One shot. Fire car, still fire car.
Oh my god.
Let's go, keep
Still fire car. Still fire car.
Close in the back. Kill on the tank. On the tank. He's on our gas tank. We got to get nice. Everything in front of you. Everything in front of you. Let's go, keep easy.
Mid tank.
Limit tank. Come on, keep the momentum up, bro.
One shot mid tank. He's going cafe. Cafe.
Oh shit. One shot.
Good shit, bro.
Good shit, guys. Come on, let's go.
Oh, shit.
I got 5, boys. Fucking A.
I mean, Quinn, just as we heard Q-Pan's voice fade into the mist there, I think he was going to say, what was he going to say? I'm on you? I mean,
it was something along the lines of,
Yeah, way too much. Way too much, yeah, what's the word? Offensive language for the families at home watching today. Hi, Mum, hi, Dad. Yeah, you have to give it to them, though. It's always impressive for Team Basai.
Yeah, no, the passion there. I mean, this is why you tune into this type of COD. It's the grassroots. It is that passion that you just absolutely thrive off of, and Basai bringing it every step of the way, trying to close things out in this attacker side round in similar fashion to what they kicked off on their attacker side round to kick us off into that A point we go, and already collecting that time, Connie.
Impressive to see now. It's a nice little shade of blue in the kill feed, because look at where you're seeing Juice's position. Jason now has to position in a more dangerous area, because now you can get easier kills onto Team Basai in a spot where you had to win the gunfight. Team Basai line up 2 ARs, down a barrel, crowded across the garage, and Bird Nation again in a tough spot where, similar to the last attacking round, A is so hard to defend.
Oh! There is absolutely no way that just happened. Daddy Esco keeps the hopes alive. The cruise missile fortifies. Team Basai is just picking them apart. 2 minutes, 11 seconds on the board. Bird Nation, their wings are being cut. Basai already into this B hill, trying to fortify, trying to get the kills to go. But Juicy is the last vestige, trying to hold on for his team.
Nice, impressive fight to be winning now for Team Basai. They can see it get set up on B straight away. Last player up is K-Bite up high, and a pinch through from X means that now you're getting impressive kills, and the spawns are really far out. You got to stack this point, and it's going to be 5 seconds to win.
Bird Nation has to go. They have to go here and now. It's a 4-stack. X keeps the hopes alive. Oh my goodness. It's pandemonium on the main stage. 19 to 18. Basai still with a minute 45 left on the clock. But Connie, it might come down to the lives. With so much time left, Basai has to find the opening now.
I mean, besides finding a breakthrough forklift, the pinch wasn't watched, and that's 3 kills, which mirrors accuracy back in Cold War. And it's going to happen again. Juicy's doing the same route, and they have to aggress through, get a kill onto X, get a kill onto Drippy, because Bird Nation are finding ways around the map that aren't humanly possible.
Bird Nation defying the logics of time and space itself. But Basai still holding on, still trying to make the approach on into this hill.
Jason, now onto X. That stack concussion might be enough as well, but Basai are funneling one by one into this point.
Oh, but Bird Nation just continues to shut them down every step of the way, and now the lives, how the turns have tabled once again. Bird Nation still keeping the hopes alive. Still 55 seconds left, but Basai just can't seem to find the opening. Daddy Esco, first kill on the board, and you have the wraparound from Q-Pan. He's gonna find his way onto the hill. Hold on, Bird Nation just have 2 lives left into this hill. Drippy up from above, trying to provide that support. Juicy from below is gonna get shut down, though. Bird Nation looking to be the last stand right here, right now.
Trophy's down as well. You can't throw nades onto the point, but K-Bite's found a pinch in the back. One last 1v1, and it's Juicy! Okay, nobody's on time. A foot race, and Bird Nation will get there first. Nades will respawn. Nobody from Basai can get near tank.
It's gonna come down to the lives, Connie. It's gonna come down to the lives. Q-Pan's gonna cut 1, cut 2. Time now in the factor here as it gets stopped. Daddy Esco with the 3rd, and Basai are going to take it 3-0 and close the series 2-1.
No, I can't say any more without saying offensive words, but a picture perfect control. No, at least no criminal mistakes made by Team Basai, and Bird have been muscled out, played against their own game. Nothing could be accounted for. It was a masterclass from Team Basai. And simply put, Daddy Esco has been at least a leading line. Not just that as well, K-Bite and Juicy for Bird Nation, finding important kills, stalling the push that Team Basai installs so much and so again, which has given them so much time in this series.
Basai is going to clock in their first win in pool play, which means Bird Nation goes down 0-2, despite the fact that they started so hot on the 6-star hardpoint. Basai came out a little bit sleepy, but ultimately when they woke up, they chose violence. They decided to close it out in dominant fashion. I mean, Connie, what a series we just witnessed. The highs, the lows. Both teams felt it, but it's Basai who's going to continue on and make a name for themselves so far.
I didn't highlight it so much after the search and destroy, but it's very clear to see from the score that the S&D was the clear turning point for Team Basai. I mean, the fashion they won it in, the scoreline itself, it felt like they had nothing really to worry about in the control, and you can see the way they were playing it and communicating. They were getting in the heads of Bird Nation, and there was no response to be had. They just got completely whitewashed.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it was exactly. That is all that you can say about that series. What a way to come back. Basai showing off that resilience that will carry them far within the landscape of this tournament. Live from Game Arena in Columbus, Ohio, you are watching the premier circuit, Legends of Six Major 4. We're going to send it to a very quick break, but do not go anywhere. Still a lot of great Call of Duty coming your way. Omit versus Unreal Nightmare up next on the docket.